I have changed I have changed my point of view about relationships. A while ago, I was craving to have a romantic partner. In my head, the only way out of the suffering, agony, and misery I was living was having a partner. God blessed me with a romantic partner, and even though we didn't have that many similar interests, we were able to kind of like push through, excuse me, and continue to go with our path. Excuse me again. What I'm saying is that we were able to push our limits and find a way to make it work. Because deeply we knew both of us had a purpose, a very strong purpose of freeing ourselves from all thoughts and all the lies that we had accumulated from lifetimes. Um, there were many differences, and we were trying to learn how to love each other while removing the layers, the masks that we have also created in order to survive and cope with life. At one point, we didn't know anymore if we were helping each other or if we were creating more pain in each other's lives. He came from a background that was quite different than mine, and that affected a lot our relationship. He grew up, he was raised by a mom and a daddy. I was raised by a mom. He had financial support to put him through a path where he had accumulated a lot of knowledge about the world, about life, and I didn't. He had a stable job, and I didn't. His brain was quite powerful when it comes to making resol- creating resolutions for problems, and he was a coder. Um, so yeah, in my case, I was more creative, and I had a lot of challenges with reasoning and doing math at some point during my childhood in school, um, when all the chaos started to experience in school and at home started to happen. I think that was affecting different areas in my brain, and I started to decay in school. Obviously, he had his reasons to dislike me, and so did I have reasons to also not love him when I wasn't intoxicated by his emotions and feelings. At some point, we couldn't separate our feelings from anymore. We couldn't separate who was who in the relationship, which means we became one for the time we were together until a lot of pain, drama started to occur, at least at my end, because he was just going with his life, going with the flow, and everything was always put down for him. And I was the one hustling and putting a lot of force into making shit happen for my life. There was a time I was 100% convinced no more that we were done. And yet it was very challenging to break up because I was addicted to the oxytocin, addicted to his text messages. I would see myself sometimes waking up in the middle of the night just to see if he had texted me. That's a disease, and there was no one to see this other than a part of me that was quite aware that that was not good for me. I prayed a lot, and after so many prayers, I was able to let go of him for life. He was gone. He left to another country. I was on my own, going through crazy shit and moving from place to places as it happened during our entire relationship. And I fell in love again because it's easy. When you learn how to fall in love, you can fall in love for anyone because you understand everybody's always projecting something inside and they're a mirror to you, and you decide if you like the mirror or not. I mean, you think you decide, but not really. Life does that to you. So at one point, I made myself forget the person who I had fallen in love with. And I was able to realize that deeper down, there was still something left from this other person, some of the projection and some of the stories and some of the parts of him that were inside my beingness. More work needed, and I went through. Finally, I got to that point where he was no longer a problem. I was not longer thinking of him, and I felt free. My problems in life weren't over, but now I'm able to focus more on myself and in my problems as opposed to focusing only on that feeling that he was giving to me to essentially fill in the void and cover up the pain I was going through from life itself. Yes, I'm very grateful that he came into my life and that he was able to give on these good feelings and emotions and help me go through life. But I also wanted to be more awake and aware so I could help myself to get out of where I was going through quicker. So what happens with drugs is that it really numbs the pain, right? You're blind of everything else and then you just keep going with life. But that's not how it works. One needs to remain awake and fully aware of the problems that needs to be solved as opposed to running from them or shoving them with positivity and good feelings and good stories about something that is actually happening, that is real. Only you know what makes you feel good or bad, what needs attention in your life, and nobody else is going to come and fix it. It's totally on you. So now you must be wondering, do I still dream of a romantic partner, romantic relationship? Well, as much as I enjoy the endorphins, the oxytocin, and all those great chemicals that happens in your brain when you're in love, I understand I don't need a romantic partner in order to feel that. As long as I dream of having someone with me to build a beautiful life together, I understand maybe I'm just not quite at the right time to fully allow myself to do that, because it's not fair to maybe fall in love with someone who has his shit together while I don't, and just be relying on his good feelings, good thoughts, and realize that I still have to do me and that we're just in two far different realities. As much as that hurts right here, I know it would hurt much more later on, if nothing really changes in the or in my own reality. So yes, I still believe in happy endings and happy relationship, and I'm not gonna give up forever, but just for now. And that feels good and it feels relieving. How about you? Do you know what you expect on a romantic partner or in a relationship? Have you questioned yourself what you really want at this moment and if you really are ready to embark on a romantic relationship? Be aware there will always be pros and cons of being single or having a romantic partner. And that point of view that sees what makes you feel better in this place or that, it's always changing. With that, you might know now a little bit on what exactly you want. With that, you might know exactly what it is now. Bye.